here we are on today's project. What do we got here? We got ourselves, well, let's just call it a 1951 Chevy pickup. What we got going on today? All right, let me get you around this baby. Let's take a tour of this thing, okay? As you can see, this puppy, it's a little lower than stock. Yeah, a little different, All right, we got 55 Chevy front headlights in the buckets. Okay, you can see a little bit of why this is here now. Got the new aftermarket hood. Fenders, the original, have been modified. A lot of work done to this truck. All the door handles and whatnot have all been shaved off. Hoppers on this thing somewhere. Well, maybe not on this side, but some work we need to do this thing. It's got a 57 dash in it. Pretty cool. Oh, baby. Whole lot of air tanks and pumps. Check this out. Little Corvette independent suspension. Nice little fuel cell in there. Yeah, electric pumps. Now, oh yeah, little Cadillac taillight action on this baby. Running board's been made. A lot of custom work in this. Set up for power windows and whatnot. All right. A little backstory, a little history on this thing. Okay, this is a project that a father and son had started back in the day. So it has a first gen S10 chassis under it. It has a Corvette independent rear suspension in it. Not sure exactly what year this is out of. Like I said, this is a project someone else started that we get blessed to help get to the next stage. All right. So, here we go. Let's get going. We're going to get some hardware, get these fenders and all bolted up, get all this stuff fitting up a little better, and we'll click you back on when we hit the next step. Here we go. Welcome, Harvey. Boy, you need some help, bud. All right, here we go. So we're making some progress here on old Harvey. Yep, can't lift the fenders up and down anymore. Got everything bolted up. Looking pretty good. Started sanding on that side just to see what the body's looking like. Give me a rough idea. This thing's been sitting so long that the primer has a nice layer of dirt on it we can use as a guide coat. So let's take a look at this baby. Now I noticed here on this door, and same on the other side, they tapered this when they did this so that it would clear their jam. I don't know if you can see that here. Yeah, there it is. All right, got the bed done, the sides done. So now what are we going to do? We're going to have to get this baby up in the air somehow, and as you can see, whew, she's low. So we're going to have to get this aired up so we can get it up on our race ramps, because if you've been with me a while, you know I don't like standing on my head, and this thing being on the ground like it is, I'm standing on my head to work on it. So let's get it up where we can work. Got my helpers with me today. We're getting this thing taken care of. Maury, what do you think, bud? You getting that tire shined up? Please don't. So, as you can see, we got this thing up in the air. Got old Harvey, a little height in him. That way we can work on this guy without, standing on our heads. So, how did I get this thing up in the air? As you've seen, this thing is on the ground. It's got air suspension on it. When it's aired all the way up, still can't get a jack under the front. So we had to remove the front bumper. Not that big a deal. Got to do that anyhow. We're going to get set up here. We're going to get this trim off, chrome off, get those tail lights out, and get this thing going. Here we go. While we were at it, we went ahead and decided to put the hood hinges on and the shocks. Springs. Yeah, not a shock, it's a spring. So what that allowed us to do is to get our hood aligned a little better in the back, because believe it or not, this actually helps the hood conform to the side of the body. So be mindful of that when you're putting these together. A lot of these older trucks, they didn't fit up real well. So when you have issues with side panels not fitting, make sure you put all your stuff on. That might correct a lot of issues you come across. All right, we're going to keep moving here. We're going to get this grill pulled out of here. And we're going to get these wheels pulled off. That way we're not tearing up any of our good shiny stuff. Here we go. starting to get everything stripped off of old Harvey here. Now we got the wheels though, and let's take a look more about what we got going on. So what does this have? This has the air ride, front and rear. Has the S10, factory front suspension, you can see, factory control arm, factory lower control arm, been modified for the air ride. Spacers on here. I've seen a lot of people use these, you know, and not that there's anything really wrong with it, but if you can, avoid doing this. Check your offsets on your wheels, get what you need to fit. But I know in some circumstances, you know, you can't avoid that. And if you are going to run them, make sure you get the good ones to where you can actually bolt them, then bolt them too. All right. So here we go. Inner panels there to clean up the engine bay to make the S10 chassis fit up to, you know, the original 51. Clean all that up. Running board's all made up. Let's see if I can get under here, show you a little more what's going on. All right, as you can see, I mean, whoever built this really did a nice job. They cared about what they were doing. Got a dump there for the air suspension. You know, made the running boards, made the filler panels, all that good stuff. Got the bed fitted up. Back in the back here, got the IRS out of a Corvette. Like I said, I'm not exactly certain what year this is, but you can see they went through tabs in there, little Ford-link setup deal. Not bad, not bad. I'm digging it. Cadillac taillights in there. Looking good, recessed them in. It's old school, baby, I like that. Old school, okay. So we got this side pretty much sanded down. Just see where we're at, see what it's looking like. Got a couple little spots here. Like I told you before, you can see they actually tapered this door to where it'll tuck in that fender nicely for them. Same thing here. I don't know what made them do that, but that's the way they did it. Got a dinger here, not too bad, not too bad. These 55 Bel Air headlight buckets, that's a cool trick, man. I like it. A bunch of old school stuff, hot rod tricks that they did back in the day. Pretty cool to see it. All right, now you can see over here, this has been cut. You're not exactly sure why they did that. Probably a fitment issue to get this lined up better. These guys were very particular, from what I was told, about how they were building this truck, and it shows in a lot of the details you can see in here. They did the whole bed. This is all custom done. So they had panels that will cover all this. This is all nice and discreet. One thing I'm noticing here, all right, if you notice the gap here, I don't like that. We're gonna have to address that. Now, a good way to check with, you know, what might be going on here. Aha. You got a little space going on there. Okay. Let's go over here to the other side. Just like I said, when this was brought to me, it was slammed together. I mean, to tell you what. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so now I'm seeing. And now if I look under here, okay, yeah. See that right there? They got spacer there. And now I'm looking over here. There's no spacer over there. So I guess they did that as a standoff. You know, I'm going to find a puck, like a hockey puck. A lot of guys and gals used to do that back in the day. Take a hockey puck, drill it out, cut it out, make what you need. You know, sometimes it's hard to find custom parts that work for your applications. And sometimes you got to think outside the box. You know, if they're good for on the ice, they're good for on your car. Okay. So we're going to keep sanding Harvey down here. We're going to give him a little spa treatment, a little exfoliation of his top surface, just to see what we got going on here. All right, let's get going. All right, as you can see, the carnage we got here. We got old Harvey sanded down. All right. Used our 400 on the DA. Just go over this thing quick, get this thing scuffed up, and get the crust off of it. As you can see, like I told you, okay, the dirt on there almost stacks like a guide coat, so that's pretty convenient. But how do we get this far? All right, so what I got here, I got my little palm sander, my little DA, and an interface pad. Now, why did I use an interface pad? Well, I don't want to take the chance here of this. If this was not an interface pad on here, be it, you know, a firm edge, it would gouge into this. So that's why I like using these interface pads on these real contoured pieces. so we don't have that issue, okay? Because you can definitely dig grooves in these panels if you're not careful. Now, what are we going to do next? So what we're going to do now, we're going to get our long block set up with some more 400, and we're going to get this baby sanded down some more. Why are we doing that? What we're trying to achieve here is to get the flattest surface we possibly can before we put any more medium on top. And what I mean by that is our next stage of high build primer. Been with me a while, you know the routine. This is how we do it. So we'll save you the boring stuff, get you set up, show you a little bit of the tools of what we're doing, and we'll get it done, and we'll show you the end result. Here we go. Got my contour blocks here, and a lot of you will notice, okay, these are some homemade jobs. And what I ended up doing, I came in here and I cut this to relieve it so that it'll flex for me. All right, that'll flex either way, whichever way. I got half a piece I need, half a piece I don't. Gives me my contours I need, contours I don't. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so got the fender done, got the door here. I'll show you how I like to do this. Now, 90% of the time I'll find I just put it on flat, okay? And that'll allow the board to bend where it needs to bend. It's not such a stiff board where you're cutting a lot of your details or your curvature off. So we got our 400 sticky back here. We're just going to go in here and do what we normally do, block her down. This is 2K high build on this now. We're just using this as a base to get our surface flat. See how that turns right to powder. Now this is where this particular block I prefer over a flat stiff block, okay? So you see how that stands off there? All I gotta do is just apply the pressure to it and allow the block to do what it naturally wants to do, flatten things out. It might not seem like that big a deal, but I'm telling you, this will save you hours and hours of struggle with it. Especially if you're like me and you do a lot of stuff by hand. That really shows your highs and lows. When you use a long block like that, gives you an idea of what you're working with. So keep going along through here. We'll get this all done. Move on to the next step. You want to take your time here. Don't try to rush this, because all you're doing is just making the work for yourself down the road. So the more time you spend here, get this thing as perfect as you can, you know, within reason. Some things you just can't see until you spray it. But you want to avoid as much as possible. So we'll get this done and we'll show you what this looks like when it's all done. There we go. Got that all sanded down. Got it the best we could for where we're at. Seeing a couple little spots over here. Another one there. Not that big a deal. Alright, so then we came back up front here and decided while we're at it, before we get to doing any body work, might as well weld this seam up. So we got that welded up. Now, on to the next step. Let's get this stuff smoothed out. This front apron smoothed out. Let's get all this stuff addressed so we can get this baby one step closer. Alright, you know the deal. We'll click you back home. Back here on the back now, got a couple little spots down here we need to weld up. Had to do something with this. It just bothered me. I couldn't deal with that. So what did we do? We came over here. Oh baby. Continued that bed rail around there, if you notice. Round pipe up top. Comes down now into this round pipe. Into that. So that continues on. Makes a lot more finished end. What do you guys think? Worth it? You tell me. I like it. Woo, baby. Got that side done now. Just like this side. Looking good. Woo, baby. I like that. So now that just comes whoop, all the way down around there, all the way back up. Now, on this bed here, it's got little pockets. This would be for your latch and your chain. This has little hide latches that slide into the bed sides there. Another reason why I put those pockets in, because that was just stuck through the... There we go. So it has that little keeper there. And now with our side on, that hole's no longer there. So that's a neat little trick. All right. So we're gonna fill this bit, these chain pockets and latches in. We don't need them. We want that smoothed out. Let's get this baby going. Got those little pieces made up there. Got that fitted up. Our magnet's holding that on for us. I'm gonna take it off here just so you can see. So from that, you know, let's see here. To that, that looks way better. So we'll get this welded up, save you trouble watching that, and we'll move on to the next step. Here we go. And just like that, whoop, no more hole. All right. Boy, that really does finish that off nice. I dig it. Okay, keep moving on. Here we go. All right, now that it's not dark outside, you can actually see that a little better. Let's back up so we can get that in there. Check that out. That looks pretty sweet. Finishes off that bed rail. It just makes a cleaner look to me. It looks more finished. More custom features on old Harvey here. We're gonna get the rest of this baby sanded down. Start doing our body work. Here we go. All right, I think we finally got old Harvey ready to go. Got this baby sanded down, got our body work, got everything back taped, scuffed up. Check this thing out. The roof all done. Windows all taped off. All the fancy stuff taped off. A little bit of body work on the fender there, how to get it. This side overall, not bad. A little bit here, can't complain. Let's see this side. All right, this side here needs a little more attention, but you know, that's to be expected. All right, what are we gonna do? We're gonna put this baby in another 2 coats of some high build primer. We're going black. We're getting rid of the gray. All right, after getting that sprayed, letting that sit overnight, here's where we're at. All right, now this is CRE 2-to-1 high build primer. Okay, we left this at full density. What do I mean by that? We didn't thin this out. I wanted this on here heavy. Why do I want it on there heavy? That way when I sand this for the very last time, I'm getting all the filling properties of the CRE primer. Okay, I use that stuff made by PPG. There's tons of other companies out there, and you know, I suggest you use what you're comfortable with. You know, if you're familiar with a certain brand that you like, go with that. This to me, performance is definitely important, but comfort is second to none. You get what I'm saying? If you ain't comfortable with something you're using, you probably shouldn't be using it. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna walk away from this thing for a couple days. We're gonna let this flash off, cure. We're gonna get it out in the sunshine, let the sunshine do sunshine things to it. We're gonna bring it back in, and we're gonna blow this thing completely apart. Old Harvey is gonna get his final makeover. Boom, chicken. Got Harvey out in the daytime. Pull him out, let it air out, and take the opportunity to clean this here shop up. And like I said, Harvey's on air ride here. The independent Corvette suspension in the rear. Right now, she's aired all the way up. But man, oh man, did that back turn out sweet? Woo-hoo-hoo, baby! Boom chicken. Alright, we're gonna let Harvey get some sun. And let this cure, like I said, for a couple days. And then we'll get back on old Harvey. Block this baby down. 400. Get ready for its final coat of paint. Alright guys and gals, you know why we do it. For the love of hot rods and horsepower. Go out there and get yourself a project. Start enjoying it. We'll catch you on the next one. Oh, baby.